Welcome back to Coin's Numismatic series. Get ready, because today's episode could change the way you look at the quarters in your pocket forever. We're exploring one of the most overlooked Washington quarters of the 1980s, a coin that millions of people spent without a second thought. Yet certain examples have become highly desirable among collectors. From fascinating history and hidden mint errors to surprising market values, this is one coin you'll want to inspect carefully before you let it slip through your fingers. 1985 P. Washington Quarter Dollar Coin. The 1985 P. Washington Quarter Dollar represents another fascinating chapter in the long-running Washington Quarter series, proving once again that even modern circulation coins can hold significant collector value. Although this coin was produced in enormous numbers at the Philadelphia Mint, the passage of time has transformed many surviving examples into desirable collectibles, especially those preserved in fine condition or better, and those displaying unusual mint errors. What appears to be an ordinary 25-cent coin can actually tell an important story about American history, United States mint production, and the growing interest in modern coin collecting. The Washington Quarter first appeared in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The United States Mint originally intended the design to be a one-year commemorative issue, replacing the standing Liberty Quarter. However, public response was overwhelmingly positive, and the Washington design became the nation's permanent quarter-dollar coin. By 1985, the series had already been circulating for more than 50 years, making it one of the most familiar coins in American commerce. The mid-1980s marked a period of economic recovery in the United States. Cash remained the dominant method of payment, and quarter dollars played an essential role in daily life. They were used in vending machines, laundromats, parking meters, public telephones, transit systems, arcade games, and countless retail purchases. Because of this constant demand, the Philadelphia Mint was tasked with producing hundreds of millions of quarters to keep the nation's economy moving. One important feature of the 1985 P quarter is its Philadelphia Mint mark. Prior to 1980, Philadelphia quarters generally carried no mint mark. Beginning in 1980, the Mint added the small P mint mark to circulating Washington quarters, making these later Philadelphia issues easily identifiable. The 1985 P quarter continues this practice, with the mint mark appearing on the obverse just behind George Washington's ponytail and above the date. The obverse of the coin features John Flanagan's iconic portrait of George Washington facing left. Above his portrait is the inscription Liberty, while the national motto, "In God We Trust," appears to the left of the neck. The date, 1985, is positioned below the bust, and the small P mint mark is located just above the date behind Washington's ribbon. The portrait conveys dignity and simplicity, reflecting the image Americans have associated with their first president for generations. The reverse displays the classic heraldic eagle standing proudly on a bundle of arrows. The arrows symbolize America's strength and readiness to defend freedom, while the olive branches below represent peace. Above the eagle is the inscription E Pluribus Unum, with United States of America surrounding the upper rim. The denomination quarter dollar appears along the lower edge. This timeless reverse remained virtually unchanged for decades until the introduction of the state quarters program in 1999. Like other circulating quarters of the era, the 1985 P. Washington quarter was struck on a copper nickel-clad planchet consisting of outer layers made from 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. The coin weighs 5.67 grams, measures 24.3 millimeters in diameter, and features a reeded edge. Although no silver is present in its composition, the clad construction provides durability for years of circulation. The Philadelphia Mint produced approximately 776.5 million Washington quarters during 1985, making it one of the higher mintage issues in the Washington Quarter series. Such a large production number might suggest the coin is common in every grade, but collectors understand that surviving quality is far more important than original mintage. The overwhelming majority entered circulation immediately, where decades of use resulted in scratches, worn details, rim nicks, environmental damage, and other signs of heavy handling. Today, finding an attractive 1985 P quarter in fine condition is still possible, but locating one with pleasing original surfaces and minimal distractions is becoming increasingly difficult. Coins that escaped harsh cleaning, corrosion, or excessive wear continue to attract collector attention. A fine condition example displays moderate but even wear across the coin. Washington's hair shows flattening over the forehead and above the ear, while the ribbon remains visible. His facial features are softened but still clearly recognizable. Every letter in Liberty, in God we trust, and the date remains bold and complete. On the reverse, the eagle's breast feathers have become smooth through circulation, yet the wings, arrows, and olive branches retain strong outlines. The rims remain complete, protecting the lettering from excessive wear. Most fine-grade examples generally sell for 50 cents to around $2, depending on eye appeal and originality. While these values remain modest, they provide an affordable entry point for collectors completing Washington quarter albums. As condition improves, values increase significantly. Extremely fine examples usually trade between $3 and $8. About uncirculated coins often sell for $10 to $30, especially when traces of original mint luster remain visible. Mint state examples become considerably more desirable because relatively few survive decades without circulation. Certified MS-64 examples frequently bring between $30 and $60. Coins graded MS-65 often sell in the range of $75 to $150, depending on strike quality and overall eye appeal. Superb MS-66 examples commonly reach several $100s, while the finest certified MS-67 coins have realized auction prices well above $1,000 due to their remarkable preservation and rarity at that level. One characteristic advanced collectors closely examine is strike quality. Not every 1985 P quarter was struck equally well. Some display softer details in Washington's hair and the eagle's breast feathers because of worn dies or lower striking pressure. Strongly struck examples exhibiting crisp design details across both sides are noticeably scarcer and command stronger premiums. Original mint luster is another major factor influencing value. Freshly struck quarters exhibit a brilliant cartwheel effect that rotates across the coin as it is tilted beneath a light source. This shimmering appearance results from microscopic flow lines created during striking. Once circulation begins, these delicate surfaces gradually wear away. Finding a 1985 P quarter with complete, undisturbed mint luster is becoming increasingly difficult after nearly 4 decades. Mint errors add another exciting dimension to collecting this issue. One of the most popular varieties is the off-center strike. If the blank planchet shifts before being struck, part of the design fails to appear. Off-center examples retaining the full date are especially desirable because they remain identifiable while displaying dramatic minting mistakes. Depending on the percentage of the off-center strike and overall condition, these coins may sell for $50, $100, or several $100s. Broad strike errors also attract strong collector demand. These occur when the retaining collar surrounding the coin fails to engage properly during striking. Without the collar restricting the expanding metal, the finished coin spreads beyond its normal diameter and lacks its raised rim. Broad-struck quarters are easily recognized and remain popular among modern era specialists. Die cracks represent another collectible category. Steel dies endure tremendous pressure during production, eventually developing stress fractures after striking hundreds of thousands of coins. These cracks transfer to coins as raised lines crossing various portions of the design. While small die cracks are relatively common, larger cracks extending through Washington's portrait or the eagle often bring additional premiums. Filled die errors occur when grease or debris becomes lodged inside recessed areas of the die. This prevents metal from fully entering those spaces during striking, producing weak or missing letters, numbers, or design elements. Depending upon severity and visual impact, filled die errors may sell for significantly more than ordinary circulated coins. Collectors also enjoy searching for die clash errors. Occasionally, the coin press cycles without a blank planchet positioned between the dies. The dies strike one another directly, transferring portions of each design onto the opposing die. Subsequent coins reveal faint outlines or unusual design fragments where they should not normally appear. These fascinating minting mistakes provide insight into the production process and remain highly collectible. Another important variety is the doubled die. Genuine doubled dies originate during die manufacture rather than during the striking process. Collectors carefully inspect lettering, the date, and portions of Washington's portrait under magnification, searching for distinct separation with rounded secondary images. Authenticated double die quarters often command impressive premiums because true examples are considerably scarcer than common machine doubling. Professional grading has further increased demand for premium 1985 P quarters. Independent grading services authenticate coins, assign standardized grades, and identify significant varieties, giving buyers confidence in the quality of their purchases. Registry set competition has encouraged collectors to seek the finest known examples, driving auction prices upward for top population coins. The popularity of the Washington Quarter series ensures lasting collector interest in the 1985 P issue. Whether assembling a complete date and mint collection, searching for spectacular mint errors, or pursuing high-grade certified examples, collectors continue to appreciate this coin's historical importance and affordability. Perhaps the greatest appeal of the 1985 P Washington Quarter lies in its accessibility. Even today, examples occasionally appear in circulation, old coin jars, inherited collections, estate sales, and bank rolls. Most will be ordinary circulated coins worth face value, but every search offers the possibility of discovering a well-preserved survivor or a valuable mint error that has gone unnoticed for decades. The 1985 P Washington Quarter Dollar reminds us that rarity is not determined solely by mintage figures. Although hundreds of millions were struck, time has steadily reduced the number of attractive surviving examples. Fine-condition coins preserve the history of everyday American commerce, while mint-state examples and dramatic mint errors continue to attract serious collectors willing to pay substantial premiums. The next time you receive a 1985 P quarter in your change, take a closer look before spending it. What seems like an ordinary quarter could become one of the most rewarding discoveries in your collection and a reminder that valuable treasures often hide in the most unexpected places. 1988 D Washington Quarter Dollar Coin. The 1988 D Washington Quarter Dollar is one of those coins that most people have handled countless times without ever realizing it could be far more interesting than its face value suggests. Every year, millions of these quarters continue to pass through cash registers, coin jars, and bank rolls, yet collectors know that certain examples deserve a much closer look. While the majority are worth only 25 cents, well-preserved pieces, attractive fine-condition examples, and rare mint errors have become increasingly desirable in the numismatic market. This coin represents another important chapter in the history of the Washington Quarter series and reminds collectors that modern coins can be just as exciting to study and collect as much older issues. The Washington Quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of the birth of George Washington, the first president of the United States. Originally intended to be a one-year commemorative coin, it quickly gained widespread public acceptance and permanently replaced the standing Liberty Quarter. By 1988, the Washington Quarter had already become one of the longest-running and most recognizable coin designs in American history, circulating daily in virtually every community across the nation. During the late 1980s, the United States economy was expanding and Americans relied heavily on cash transactions. Quarter dollars were essential for vending machines, laundromats, parking meters, public transportation, arcade games, and countless retail purchases. To meet this constant demand, the United States Mint produced enormous quantities of quarters every year, ensuring that enough coins remained in circulation for everyday commerce. The 1988 D quarter was struck at the Denver Mint, identified by the small d mint mark located on the obverse just behind George Washington's ponytail and above the date. This tiny letter distinguishes Denver production from Philadelphia and San Francisco issues and is an important feature for collectors assembling complete Washington Quarter collections. The obverse features John Flanagan's timeless portrait of George Washington facing left. Across the upper rim appears the word Liberty, while the national motto, "In God We Trust," is positioned to the left of the portrait. The date, 1988, appears beneath Washington's bust, with the small d mint mark located behind the ribbon tying his hair. Although this design had already been in use for more than 5 decades, It remained one of the most respected portraits in American coinage because of its simplicity, balance, and historical significance. The reverse presents the familiar heraldic eagle standing proudly atop a bundle of arrows, symbolizing the nation's strength and readiness to defend its freedom. Beneath the arrows rest two olive branches representing peace. Above the eagle appears the motto, E pluribus unum, while United States of America follows the upper rim. Along the bottom edge is the denomination quarter dollar. This classic reverse became one of the defining symbols of 20th century American coinage before it was replaced by the state quarters program, beginning in 1999. Like all circulating Washington quarters of its era, the 1988 D was struck on a copper-nickel-clad planchet. The outer layers consist of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. Each coin weighs 5.67 grams, measures 24.3 millimeters in diameter, and features a reeded edge. Although these quarters contain no silver, their durable construction allowed them to withstand years of heavy circulation while maintaining recognizable design details. The Denver Mint produced approximately 596.8 million Washington quarters in 1988. At first glance, such a large mintage might seem to eliminate any possibility of rarity. However, experienced collectors understand that original production figures tell only part of the story. Most of these quarters entered circulation immediately, where decades of daily use resulted in worn surfaces, scratches, rim damage, and environmental exposure. As a result, attractive survivors with strong eye appeal have become increasingly difficult to locate. Collectors examining a fine-condition 1988 D quarter will notice moderate circulation, where while still appreciating clear and complete design details. Washington's hair displays flattening across the highest points, especially above the forehead and behind the ear, but the major hairlines remain visible. The cheek and jawline are smooth from years of handling, yet the portrait remains bold and easily recognizable. Every inscription is complete, and both the date and mint mark remain sharply defined. On the reverse, the eagle's breast feathers show noticeable wear, while the wings retain sufficient detail to distinguish individual feather groups. The arrows and olive branches remain complete despite softened detail, and the rims continue protecting the lettering from excessive wear. Fine-grade examples offer collectors an affordable way to own a representative coin that faithfully reflects decades of American circulation history. Most 1988 D quarters in fine condition generally sell for between 50 cents and $2, depending on originality, eye appeal, and overall preservation. Coins displaying natural surfaces without evidence of harsh cleaning are usually more desirable than polished or damaged examples. As the condition improves, so does the value. Extremely fine examples commonly bring $3 to $8. About uncirculated coins retaining traces of original mint, frost often sell for $10 to $30. Once the coin reaches mint state grades, collector demand increases dramatically because relatively few escape circulation without acquiring contact marks or wear. Certified MS-64 examples frequently trade between $30 and $60. Coins graded MS-65 often command prices ranging from $75 to $150 depending on strike quality and market demand. Superb MS-66 examples regularly sell for several $100s, while the finest certified MS-67 coins have realized auction prices exceeding $1,000 because of their remarkable preservation and scarcity at the highest grading levels. Strike quality plays an important role in determining desirability. Some 1988 D quarters exhibit slightly soft details in Washington's hair or the eagle's breast due to worn dies or reduced striking pressure during production. Coins displaying exceptionally sharp details across both sides stand out immediately and often receive stronger interest from advanced collectors. Original mint luster also contributes significantly to market value. Freshly struck quarters display a bright cartwheel effect that rotates across the surface as the coin is tilted under light. This beautiful luster gradually disappears through circulation. Finding an untouched 1988 D quarter retaining complete mint brilliance has become increasingly difficult after decades of use, making such examples highly desirable. Collectors also search carefully for mint errors that can dramatically increase a coin's value. Among the most popular are off-center strikes. These occur when the blank planchet is improperly positioned between the dies before striking. Part of the design fails to appear, creating an unmistakable mint error. Examples retaining the complete date while showing a significant off-center strike often sell for substantial premiums depending on their overall appearance. Broad strike errors represent another exciting category. When the retaining collar surrounding the planchet fails during striking, the metal expands beyond its intended diameter. The resulting coin lacks its normal raised rim and appears noticeably wider than a standard quarter. Broad-struck quarters remain favorites among error collectors because they clearly illustrate an important step in the minting process. Die crack errors also attract considerable collector interest. After striking hundreds of thousands of coins, steel dies gradually develop stress fractures. These cracks transfer onto coins as raised lines crossing portions of the design. Small die cracks are relatively common, while dramatic cracks extending across Washington's portrait or the eagle may command stronger premiums. Filled die errors occur when grease or compacted debris blocks recessed areas within the die. This prevents metal from completely filling those spaces during striking, resulting in weak or missing letters, numbers, or design details. Depending on their severity and visibility, these errors often sell well above the value of ordinary circulated examples. Another fascinating mint error is the die clash. Occasionally, the minting press cycles without a planchet position between the dies, allowing the dies to strike each other directly. Portions of one design become transferred onto the opposing die, producing unusual outlines or faint design elements on subsequent coins. These errors provide collectors with an interesting glimpse into the manufacturing process and remain popular additions to specialized collections. Collectors also inspect 1988 D quarters under magnification for genuine doubled die varieties. Unlike common machine doubling, true doubled dies originate during die manufacture. Clear separation in lettering, numbers, or design elements can significantly increase collector value. Authenticated doubled die examples remain scarce and are actively pursued by specialists. Professional grading has further strengthened collector demand for premium quality 1988 D quarters. Independent grading services authenticate coins, assign standardized grades, identify important varieties, and encapsulate coins for long-term protection. Registry set collectors compete vigorously for the highest certified examples, creating strong demand for top population coins with exceptional eye appeal. The popularity of the Washington Quarter series continues to ensure lasting collector interest in the 1988 D issue. Many collectors strive to assemble complete date and mint collections spanning the original Washington design, while others focus on discovering dramatic mint errors or obtaining beautifully preserved mint state examples. The combination of historical significance, affordability, and the excitement of searching keeps this coin relevant in today's hobby. One of the greatest attractions of the 1988 D Washington Quarter is that opportunities for discovery still exist. Examples continue appearing in circulation, bankrolls, inherited collections, estate sales, and forgotten jars of change. Although most are ordinary circulated coins, every search offers the possibility of uncovering an overlooked error, a beautifully toned example, or a remarkably well-preserved survivor that escaped decades of heavy use. The 1988 D Washington Quarter Dollar demonstrates that modern coins should never be underestimated. Despite its large original mintage, time has steadily reduced the number of attractive surviving examples. Fine condition coins preserve a piece of America's everyday history, while mint state examples and fascinating mint errors continue to attract collectors willing to pay significant premiums. Before spending your next 1988 D quarter, take a careful look at every detail. That seemingly ordinary coin could become one of the most rewarding discoveries in your collection and another reminder that valuable treasures often hide in plain sight, waiting for someone with the knowledge to recognize them.